You got the perfect view, matches the chart. Let's do this. So this is a G open chord. Now it blows my mind what you can learn from just one chord, but you have to put in the reps. So I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna give you a framework. Think of this as like the tip of the iceberg, right? This is a G open chord. We all know that chord. But what makes that chord? So you see on the chart, it has a G, a B, an open D, an open G. I'm playing a D and a G. So there's just G's, B's, and D's in there. Now on the top left of the chart, you saw how I wrote out a G major scale, okay? We're gonna get into that, and you saw how I wrote a G major triad, G, B, D, which in this case, we're gonna strip this down into triads, major scales, and we're gonna be as musical as we can. Now, when you pick up the guitar, you need to think what made the thing I'm doing. So in this case, I'm playing a G. What made that G chord? G's, B's, and D's, right? But let's strip it down even further. So let's move through this. This little ebook is linked below. It has all the charts. Whoop, here we go. I got it right here too. So in this case, we've got a G major bar chord. Now we're in the right place, same place. And inside of that, you gotta go ding, ding, ding. I've got a G major triad, G, B, D, G, B, D. So think of like a bar chord is like an armored up triad, okay? Again, you can clearly see there's just G's, B's, and D's, but in this case, we're gonna play the most beautiful part of that, which is the triad. Now I love doing the bar chord to triad exercise, and it looks like this. Bar chord, tune, triad. Bar chord, tune, triad. Bar chord, tune, triad. Now for those of you that aren't thumb over players for the bar chord, you've seen a lot of players, I know you've seen this, where we do thumb over. When I wrap my thumb over and I'm hitting the triad, again, getting good at guitar is just little tiny baby steps. Just like growing this YouTube channel, growth is growth. Doesn't matter how fast or slow, but I want you to think of this. I'm muting out the E and A strings, okay? And I'm striking that triad. So go bar chord, tune, triad. Bar chord, tune, triad. Bar chord, tune, triad. Bar chord, tune, triad. So again, that's great just for your percussive stuff. Rhythm is always king, period. There's no debating that. So it's great for your rhythmic skills. You can play with metronomes, you can play with drummers, you can play in a digital audio workstation with a drum beat, great. But in the end of the day, you want to be able to groove by yourself. So hit those strings, stay percussive. Bar chord, tune, triad. Bar chord, tune, triad. But also build your own theory, okay? So now we're seeing that G open chord. Well, we just have them here, G's, B's, and D's. But now I'm stripping it down to a triad. And if you didn't know this, there's 11 more major triad shapes across the neck that make up a G major triad. I'll link a video at the end. There's a whole playlist with charts on that, all 12, and you can move it to any key. So again, here's something else. So just think, if I go G, B, D, that's the first, third, and fifth. And if you look at the major scale on the top left of the chart, you go G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. That's a G major scale, okay? That's what we're going to next, so just keep connecting the dots. The first, third, and fifth note out of the major scale are how you build that triad. G, B, D, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 3. Now, look, we're just doing this from one chord, okay? And now we're starting to go below the surface, the tip of the iceberg, the open G, and we're staying musical. Now, think of it this way too. If you haven't done any fingerpicking stuff, I love this. Watch this. Do the bar chord to the triad. We'll stay on this chart. We got a couple more things. We're gonna wrap it up. You can do this pick and flick, and then pick and flick on the triad. Bar chord, triad. Bar chord, triad. See, I'm hitting that percussive thing. It's like that little stab. If you've never done it, do it. Add it to your catalog. Add it to your toolbox. You gotta be as musical as you can. What else can we do? Take the pick back or use your fingers? Why can't you arpeggiate the triad inside of the bar chord? Bend some of the notes slightly out of tune. Play off the rails a little bit. Give yourself some ear training. Okay? So little things like that. So you're starting to see everything that comes from that G open chord. Okay, let's go to the next chart. Whoop. Okay, 2 more, and I promise I'll get you on your way. Now, this one looks like a lot. I get it. Now, what I did, this is a G major scale, just so you know, from low E to high E. I'm gonna end on A because I like to finish it on the high E where I start in the. So I go. Okay. Now you see the triads are in there. So let's think like a creative musician would. What could I do right here? What could I do musical with one area that I'm below the surface, I'm diving deeper from the open G chord? Well, I could do something like this. What if I went G, B, D on the E and A strings, and then I did a little lick out of that major scale? Now again, you don't have to use the whole scale. In fact, why don't you just do something on the E, A, D strings? I just gave you the whole thing so you can have awareness of it. You always want to be aware of what's at your disposal. So here we go. See how I went back to home base, that G major open chord? So, bar chord, triad. I did everything what I've shown you right there. I'm just being as musical as I can. Now push yourself. Fall off the rails. I do it all the time. That's how I keep getting better. And as you move through tough situations, don't just sit on a G chord for the rest of your playing career. Don't play this for the rest of your life, okay? At the end of the day, you're trying to make music. So if you can be super musical with just, from one chord, think of what you can do as you start to connect the dots, okay? Really quick too, something super fun I love to do is you see that G, B, D on the E and A strings? There's a triad. Then you got it right here. You should do this cool little thing. Now this is tough. I go G, B, D, G, B, D. See that? G, B, D. Real slow. G, B, D. What this does too, it forces you to work out the most efficient way to pick certain things. So okay? So just play with it. You're like molding a big hunk of clay, and you're molding it and you're starting to take shape. And again, back to where we came from. It all came from an open G chord. Do not be that player. There's no reason, listen, if you've played for one day, I'm showing you this now, there's no reason you can't even just do something like this, open G, and do this. Did you know that sometimes, a lot of times when a bass player is playing with it, they're going, they're just grooving off of like the triad inside of the scale. All right, let's go to the next chart and let's wrap it up. Now this one is killer. I love this. Watch this. Again, this all comes from the G open chord because now we're playing the G major scale. Now, of course, the G open chord only has the first, third, and fifth, which I highlighted again, but this is another major scale moving up the E, A, and finishing off on the D strings. Now, we're not really gonna worry about this F sharp on the D string right here on the 4th fret, and then the G. I like to bookend it. I go, da, 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 da. What if you just became aware of today, oh my gosh, you know what? There's only one sharp in the key of G. What is it? F sharp. You guys, I do music theory questions on the channel and the community post every day. I know that you guys have seen it or loving it. That's how you do it. You put in the reps. Now, here's the beautiful part. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up with this. Now check out how killer this is, okay? And again, all of this was because I forced myself to look at the G open chord and I kept digging deeper. I kept going deeper. If you stop and you don't go deeper, okay? But when you start to feel like overwhelmed, when your bandwidth is running out, stop. But watch this. Now again, you need to learn this stuff. The one chord in the key of any major is major, right? So it's G major, watch. Let me do bar chords. Now watch this. When we move up to the A, the 2 chord is minor. I can play an A minor bar chord. Now when you move up to the 3 chord, B, right there, see that here on the 7th fret on the E string? That's a minor chord. Okay, now we're gonna go down to the 3rd fret. We're gonna play that C. We're gonna play a C power chord, C5. That's major. The 4 chord is always major. And look, all this, look, if I didn't know this, look what that G chord was the catalyst for. Just sprang me into learning so much more. And then the 5 chord, D, major, and then here's E, the minor 6. So right there, you need to know this. 1 chord is major, G. 2 chord is minor, A, doing bar chords. 3 chord is minor, B, okay? 4 chord is major. 5 chord is major. 6 chord is minor. Sorry, F sharp diminished. We're not gonna deal with you tonight, but check this out. We'll wrap it up with this. So if you just take this, why don't you do a little groove, stay rhythmic, keep the groove going. This is a drum set. James Brown said that, not me, but it's true. Okay, bar chord 2. I'm just grooving within what's at my fingertips because I put in the reps and I'm like, oh, I forced myself to learn this. If you don't do this, you're not going to learn it. Guitar becomes more and more fun. Right back to home, baby. All right, so you see what we did there? One tiny, beautiful little chord. G, play your G major scale. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. G major triad, G, B, D, G, B, D. Go somewhere else and find them. I didn't do the chart, here's one here. They're all over the neck, okay? So we'll keep building this out. Let me know what you thought of the new camera angle. Grab the ebook linked below. Only you can stop you. You won't stop because you want to get better, right? I want to get better. I've been playing 35 plus years and I'm nowhere near I want to be. I'm happy, but I'm happy with where I am, but I'm never content. You always want to strive to be better, okay? It's us against ourselves. That's it. Ebook link below. Drop jellyfish or your favorite sea creature in the comments. Where are you watching from? What are you watching on TV? Binge watching anything great? All right, you guys are amazing. I will see you in the next video. I'll try and keep honing out this new camera angle. We're gonna keep trying stuff on here. I got some fun ideas. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.